Good evening, everyone. This is Joe Hinches with Beyond the Chart, and this is stock market analysis for today. Today is Thursday, May 22nd, 2014. All right, we're going to look at the our indices here in the United States, and then a couple of the indicators, and then we're going to look at 4 technology-related stocks, and then 2 stocks that got out of trade ideas today. So the Dow was up 10 points today, so really it looks like a pause to me, very like a doji type day. Get rid of this. The 10's still below the 21 here on the Dow, but I think it's not on the S&P 500. So not a whole lot more to read into this other than, you know, we had a big down and then back up, and here we are pausing now. So it's almost like we're trying to pause and figure out now which way do we want to go, and I think that's what the market's trying to decide. And now the S&P 500 looks a little bit different, a little more bullish, because yesterday ended up a little bit higher than what the Dow did, and then today was a little bit more bullish of a day from the way the bar is looking, and it was up what 4.45 points today on the S&P. So we'll have to see. Let's take a look in here. DI plus is just crossing DI minus today. Not a whole lot more to read into either one of those indicators. All right, let's take a look at the New York Composite. New York Composite, very similar in here. Let's see. DI minus is still above DI plus. You've still got, again, the ADX is below 20. I typically like to have a little line in here that's right at the 20 and give me some indication so I can glance at it and see, but not a whole lot there. Look at the Nasdaq. Nasdaq was a little stronger than the rest of the market today. So, I mean, the Nasdaq was up 22.8 points. We're getting a little bit of a move here. It'll be interesting to see if it gets above this. Again, I think we're almost, I've got this trend line, but it almost looks like we're in a trading range in here. Like we talked about yesterday, since the 22nd, which is that the 22nd? 24th, 22nd's right here. But I mean, really, this whole thing is just like a sideways trading range that we're in. So the real question is, do we break above this and go, or do we turn and come on back down? Take a look at the Russell 2000. It's trying. Now this almost looks like divergence. There's a little divergence on DI minus. This really isn't divergence in here. This is like a trending line. It's a little bit of divergence, because if you look at this point here, this is the point it's talking about here, and here's the closing price. So if you go over here and say, well, where's the closing price here? Well, the closing price is almost the same at this point, and the closing price is almost the same at this point. So really, you're not getting a lot of divergence in here. It's not super strong. And here's the thing about this line. The RSI is back to almost 50. Okay, so it's back into the neutral zone, right in the middle of the range. Typically, what I like to see is something a little more like this, okay, where you're in the oversold, you get divergence down here, the price went lower, it's pretty dramatic looking divergence, and then the market turned, and it didn't go straight up. I mean, the market never goes straight up, but that was the end of this down move, this down leg, and now we did an upward leg. Okay, so back here, it's not as super strong, although the one thing that is kind of I'm wondering about is this trend line and this movement in here, the way it's just kind of staggering out to the side. And it's almost looking like it may try to break, thrust to the upside. We're either going to need, kind of like the range on the Dow and the S&P 500, we're either going to get a break to the upside here, or we're going to continue to break right on down through this support through here and here. So I think one of those two are coming. I doubt if we're going to, continue to meander down to the downside, but we'll see. We continue to meander right here in the middle, so I'm not sure what, we're getting no extreme readings on the short-term trading index. And the VIX, a little bit, it came up a little bit from yesterday's extreme reading, not much. Will be interesting to see whether or not this little scenario still plays out, or whether we get another move down, and whether the divergence that I talked about still holds, like, you know, in here and back here. Okay, so those two situations, that's what we're watching right in here. Okay, so not a whole lot of change there. All right, we're going to jump into Cree. Let's back off on this. I talked about this weeks ago. Back in April, I think, is the last time I talked about Cree. You know, it had this move when it broke down through here. This looked like a big trading range, okay? And so typically what happens is when you break out of that range, you like go to the next box. It's like an equal distance. And so I'm expecting that that's what's going to happen down here. Let me just extend this to the right. And so, yeah, we might get a little bit of a rally back up, a pull, you know, a little bit of a snapback rally. But I would be watching to see when there's a good chance to turn around and play that to the downside again. So that's going to be the play on Cree. The next one is, let's see, Citrix Systems. Now this is one, again, that's interesting. I thought this was bottoming. I thought we had two head and we had, you know, a head, a shoulder. I thought we had a dual shoulder, and I was waiting for this to pull back down again a second time, and it hasn't done it. So I'm not quite sure what's really going on here. It's continued to push very choppily up to the upside, but again, it's you know, it's not moving very quickly. Let's put it that way. That does not look very impulsive to me in terms of an impulsive type of upward movement. So I'm still very suspicious about this move to the upside. All right, the next one is, let's see, Rackspace. All right, Rackspace had this. Let me blow this up here. Okay, so we had this descending triangle. Okay. And we had talked about, and then it broke on down through, and I had said when it was breaking down through, I thought 26 was going to be the target, but I thought it was going to hit it a little bit quicker, and it did. Well, it did almost get to 26. It got into the 26 price range, and it almost got to the price of 26, but it didn't quite make it to the projected trend line down here. And then all of a sudden you get this, I think there was an earnings thing that came out, and you get this big reaction up to the upside here. Well, you had here, and then it popped again. So not quite sure where this is going. When you look at it, it's running into, I think, some overhead resistance in here with selling where people have sold before. And that's what's pushed this back down, but it's a little hard to tell. Let me back up on it. I mean, clearly, it's in a, you know, 1, 2, 3 move down. It could be the end of the move. It's hard to tell, but again, I think you know, realistically, it's probably running into this kind of overhead supply of shares that's being sold and driving it back down. So we'll just have to watch. No particular other reading that I can see at this point. All right, the next one is Seagate Technology. And Seagate, I'm still looking for this. It's hanging a little bit in here. I'm still looking for this to roll over and test this this horizontal support right in here. And it looks like a descending triangle to me. I haven't changed on that, but I need to get a close down below the 10, and then I'll look to see if I can't get another setup to play to the downside. We tried to get it in here, but it didn't cooperate. So we'll see. Right now, just neutral on it. I mean, that's the scenario I'm looking to play out. It's just not telling me that it's ready to go. Okay, today we get out of 3D Systems. We flipped out yesterday, took a loss on some puts, and then got immediately into the calls right below 50 because it was basically hitting a new buy signal, and I used that as an exit to get out. And that got me into these calls, and it early today hit the initial target I had set, so I got out on half of them here. And then as it got up into here, I saw this declining 55, had the support or resistance that was going to come in right here, and I was at the top of the, you see this dotted line in here and the dotted line down here? This is my Keltner channels, okay? And so when it got to the top of the Keltner channel combined with the resistance and with the moving average, I said, okay, I'm out. I'm taking another profit. And the profit that we got on the second half far exceeded what we got on the first half, and the profit far exceeded what we lost by flipping out of the puts. So that's why you have to, at some point you just have to if it's not working, you just get out. And in that case, it worked out great for us. So that's it on 3D Systems. And then the other one is C-Trip. Okay, we had gotten out of, we got in around 50. We got out, I can't remember where the exact initial target was. It was about in here in the mid-range somewhere where we grabbed profits. And I was really wanting to let this run, but then when I saw this tiny doji here today, I said, okay, I don't like that. And again, because I'm running into resistance up here, this point, and top of the Keltner channel, and given those things and the fact that we're getting a little bar after being up, let's see. Let's take a look at this day, 51.21. This day is 51.24. Okay, let's count that as an up day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 up days in a row. You're pushing your luck, and who knows what's going to happen. It may just go sideways. Yeah, it may continue up. Maybe it'll explode up. But right now, I just captured a really nice profit on the second half of the trade, and so I'm totally out of it. We'll review this again on Sunday, but just wanted to pass that on. That's what we did on the trades today. So, all right, that's it for today. Again, one more day tomorrow, and then I guess we got a 3-day weekend here with Memorial Day weekend in the United States. So, thanks for stopping by. I would really appreciate it. Again, as a reminder, I'd be very grateful if you would share the post and the video on social media. And if you're a subscriber, if you'd just pass the email on to a friend, that would be fantastic. If you're not a subscriber, just simply subscribe. It's real easy to do. It's right on the website. So this has been Joe for Beyond the Chart. Thanks for stopping by. Talk to you soon.